Charles Rance Reloaded. We're gonna get quick right into it, real quick. Marching, protesting, people that monetize social injustice, black folks that have been in the social media realm of marching and fighting for social justice. What is your end game? Not trying to sound like a buck dancing coon, but it's like, okay, you do this. Some of these dudes are doing it, and females are doing it to get clout, clout chasing, jumping on every social injustice thing that happens on the internet, and then straight jumps on it. Now you are monetizing this because you go on different circuits and you get invited to different circles where your platform gets broadened, and you get to build a social media platform and your face gets puts out there because you're marching and doing all of this. At the same time, most of the time you have some sort of merchandise, this, that, and the third, that you're selling, or you do tours, or you get invited to certain events to speak and people pay you. I understand that you have to make a living, because if you don't, you're going to be out on the street like a fucking bum. I understand this, but you have people that have been doing this for years, monetizing it for years. Why haven't you reinvested in your own communities? And I'm talking about hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars. Why haven't you put a supermarket in communities that you've grown up in that may need them? Why haven't you built with other people that have money to make schools? Why haven't you reinvested in the black community? It's like, I understand why some people are literally like, well, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. Even the Black Lives Matter movement, and they need to get put in, they need to be put on the hot seat too, because with all of this stuff with George Floyd and police killing people, and now it's getting really recognized because we living in a social media world where everything's videotaped and you can't deny it. You have outside sources giving millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter and to fight black injustice, right? Where's the money going? Who's the money's going to? And what is going to be done with the money? Are we going to take this money, or are y'all going to take this money? Because I don't see any of it. Are y'all going to take this money, look at neighborhoods, or build up a new Black Wall Street and say, look, this is where we're going to, as black people, set up shop and start a economic infrastructure and start from scratch? What is going to be done with all this money? It's like when Hurricane Katrina happened, and Charles Barkley was like, yo, I'm not giving no money to FEMA or none of these organizations. I'll build some houses, but I'm not going to give my money to these organizations because you don't know where it's going. When they say that they're giving these millions of dollars and you got outside donors giving this money, where are the schools? Where are the black owned, not businesses, but the black owned economic corners that we can build from there? Are we going to put this money in residential development? Are we going to put this money into a corner store, this, that, and the third? Because it seems like when I see that blocks are being taken over, it's usually taken over from big corporations, and then you got your Arabs who put your gas stations and cigarette stores in there, and then you got your churches that leech off the outside, the community, and then they getting money for years, and they start buying pieces of property within their radius of where they're at. But with all of this Black Lives Movement shit going on, and them getting funded and getting outside money, where is this money going to go? On one side. And on the other side, when you have your social media justice warriors who literally just wake up to see what is trending or see who's got killed that is a black person, to screenshot or record the video and repost it with a long text to act like they're doing something. When you get this money from speaking engagements, merchandise. What are you doing to put that back into the community? Like, yeah, I understand. You got rich black folks out there, like your Oprah Winfrey's and your Michael Jordans, and some might say, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't owe black people shit, and I don't have to give my money back to the black community. Blah blah blah. I understand that. That is a small percentage of black wealth in America, in the world. If you look at it on a worldly scale, it's probably in the point something something something. But when it comes to these people that are social justice warriors, picking up their phones and they're screenshotting everything, and they're bringing awareness to it, and they got their own opinion on it, and they're getting money from it. What are you doing to create black wealth in the areas that you grew up in, or just areas in general, where it's not like somebody has to buy your product? Like, you're saying, okay, you know what? I've made money. I'm going to buy a whole block and rent it out back to, well, you really can't rent a house specifically to a certain race, but to say, I'm doing this in this area, we're going to start our own black economic infrastructure right here, and only us are going to be a part of this. This is not an open invitation to everybody else. This needs to be addressed, because at the end of the day, these people that died, their lives would have meant nothing if you're marching and you're not really getting the change that you need. You'll get the change that they think you deserve, but the change that you really need is an economic change. It's like Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics. You have to start making your own economy. You got to start talking about the money, and then you can start buying lawyers, judges, politicians, police, this, that, and the third, media, and change the way you are judged and change the way you are treated. It's not about what about black on black crime, because that's the easiest way to try to play both sides of the field, try to play devil's advocate, try to be that Stephen A. Smith coon shit. Where's the money? How can we build? And I say it all the time. How can we create jobs for those that want to work and those that want to create businesses? How can we create these businesses so that at the end of the day, black folks should be the only people creating jobs for black folks, giving jobs for black folks, and black folks should be wanting to work for other black folks. It's a slap in the face to go to somebody else's company, and that's not even from your culture, that don't even understand you, that's trying to understand you, this, that, and the third. We could do it our damn selves. Rose Rants Reloaded. Like, subscribe, give your feedback. I appreciate y'all. Peace.